Craig's fault, right?
Yeah.
We're here to complain about our neighbor. We have a serious issue. She's a neighbor too.
Okay.
I get the front view, they have the side view.
And what's your name, I'm sorry?
Evelyn Goodell. She lives right across the street from us.
Okay.
The other night, I had called the police department, I don't remember what night it was, because he was outside in his underwear. I was told that it was like wearing a bathing suit, that he was fine. Well, when I sit on my patio and I look at that, that's not fine. So, the police officer told him to put some pants on, but he also has been urinating in the bushes and
I get that view.
pooping in
The south side of the house.
We're having both come up. I can't hardly hear.
Yeah. Do you want to come up? Sorry.
Thanks, Moose.
Please.
You're welcome.
Just want to make sure everybody can.
Want to make sure we hear all this.
So do you know like where his house is?
Yep.
And his name?
I'm not, and I should know, I'm trying to
Okay,
figure-
Hardy's Road straight south,
Yeah.
on the dead end road. Moose and Madonna are in the brown house, and then
Okay.
Bobby O lives in the blue house, and Mr.
Loren.
Question,
I don't know what his name is.
I don't know, I call him Mr. Romania, sorry, that's just what I call him now, he's cutesy. He lives in the white house with red trim.
Okay.
I live on the opposite side, so my living room view is his private parts,
Okay.
because he will literally come out butt-ass naked
Out the front door?
out his front door. Because I don't know why he does it, but he comes out his front door and goes north to that side of his house, and I don't know what he's doing. But then he comes back and he's still butt-ass naked. He's getting more and more, he does it all the time. He's not there.
Is there any particular time of day that it occurs?
See,
more?
Bob just asked me that, and it just depends on, in the morning for sure, mid-afternoon. It just depends on when the wind blows him. I don't know. You can't pick a time. Bob says I have to call him. I'm sorry, I haven't called anybody. Because what good is it gonna do? Well, by the time they get there, he's probably fully clothed, and then they're saying, you know, Moose has caught him in a situation where he's squatting over a bucket. Well, you know what the hell he's doing, I'm sorry. But they can't do anything because there's no poop on the ground. So it's like, you get discouraged from calling. Yes. And then, the house stinks. Our neighbor to the north is our renter. We own that little house. And he can't open his windows to the north because the house stinks. I mean, you can smell it outside.
Personally, I think the house stunk before he moved in. He
Well,
just added to it.
and I think it's a health hazard, and I think it's, you know, if that house catches fire, anything and everything, if people leave stuff on your front yard, I guarantee you, it's not in that house. Because we have seen him bring everything from sheetrock, you name it, he has brought it to the house. And it's all over in there. Like, bad. He's a hoarder, is that what you call it? I don't know. You name it, if he's seen it, he has brought it.
Chief, not to interrupt, but is it unlawful if if he comes out and he's nude, is it unlawful for them to take a picture to prove that he does
I
it?
had thought that, but then I thought I'd be considered a pervert.
No, that would be, that would be proof. I mean, the other thing that after I found out, that was the case, I talked with Attorney Mike Cross and asked him if the people that witnessed this, if we can't catch him doing it or get him on videotape, whatever, that if the people that actually catch him doing it, if they were to write a written statement and were willing to testify in court to what they saw, would this be enough to go to court? And he told me yes, that it would be.
Okay.
court for what does that do though?
Well, he would be charged with indecent exposure, or, if he's urinating in public, we have a city charge for that.
So basically, we're just looking at a bunch of charges. The man needs psychiatric help. Be placed in a proper facility.
But depending on how he reacts to this, that could lead to him getting some help.
Yeah, it starts the ball rolling.
I think that would, I mean, not to tell you what to do, but that's where
Well,
I
we've
would
been wanting to
start.
take pictures, but, I mean, where do you, are we perverts being
Well, no,
across
I
the deck?
understand that, because even asking him, I felt uncomfortable asking. But you know, that's a good start, and obviously he does need some help.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just to be a neighbor and watch him across the street, well, Moose, what's in that tree? Because he's picking whatever is in that tree, and he's bagging it up and he's eating it.
Weed
He
leaves.
eats everything. He will collect
The
leaves,
stuff
I'm
he
assuming
eats.
it's toilet paper, I know you're not supposed to assume, and I'm really not exaggerating, but this is really gross, people. He will collect leaves now, but they're falling, and he bags them in his little fairway bags, and I'm assuming that's his toilet paper.
No, he gets his toilet paper up here at Van Shell, I've observed that. He'll go into the porta potty and he'll come out with some extra rolls of toilet
I mean,
paper.
Everybody's entitled to live however they choose to live. I have been told, and I don't know if it's true, that he's from Romania and that's how you live in that country, blah, blah, blah. He's across the street.
That's very
Leaves.
true, that they live like that in Romania.
Yeah, and so that being a hoarder is fine, and picking up leaves and eating grass, and, I mean, you can't get him on mowing his lawn backwards because the mower doesn't work and he's out mowing at night. I'm not gonna complain, he's gotta mow because otherwise he gets in trouble. But coming out butt-ass naked, peeing between his house and Bobby O's house, you can see him in the bushes doing it. It's, I don't know what they see on
Well, the
that
city-
side, I get the
The
front part.
city workers caught him too, didn't they, Bob?
Problem is the picture on the camera was not good enough to do anything with.
I almost think he thinks it's a game now. When did you guys, somebody came
I just don't think.
to
he
give
gets it.
papers and he literally walked out in his little gray whitey-tighties.
Well, I think Bob's, she's kind of summed it up. If, you could wait and take pictures, or if you're willing to make a statement, I would go ahead and do that. I would do that as soon as possible.
Okay.
What about the odor you guys are talking about? Wouldn't that fall under the nuisance?
Yeah.
Well, we also have a county health department that would investigate that.
See, that's what
I
a
think
county
that's what
health.
needs to happen. I mean, I don't think I think his health is not good to begin with. He's an old, I don't know how old he is. But I just, he had a stroke or whatever some years back here, but I just don't think living in that situation is, it's not.
Last
Good.
winter when he moved in, and I know it was before winter because he was riding his bike in the snow. We're talking freezing below zero, so if he has heat, I don't know. He does have electricity, because every now and then you can see a light pop on, but it's not on very long. But my concern is, from the time he moved in until now, he has got that house so jam-packed full of God only knows what it is, on top of the urine and the pooping and taking showers out in God's nature, I don't know what you want to call it. What's going to happen this winter?
Well, and if public health gets involved and he is a hoarder,
Oh, he's
This-
a hoarder.
this could lead to the help that we all really wanted to have.
Yeah, Doug?
I had an issue like this previously a couple of years ago where I contacted the county sanitarian, and this was with a similar situation, but it was more along the lines I had too many cats and we were getting odor complaints, we were getting a whole bunch of complaints with that. When I contacted the county sanitarian, we met, we went to the property, and he said there's no children involved. His hands are tied, there's nothing really that he would do. Now that's not to say if Bob and law enforcement got involved, if that wouldn't maybe help things a little bit more, I don't know, but I do know that's the
Well, what I'm
case.
saying is that,
that I had.
nuisance code
Yeah, we could do a
talks
nuisance.
talks about,
Yeah,
offensive odors
Oh,
and,
it's right.
yeah, so we could go that
Yeah,
route.
Doug's referring to hoarding. Hoarding is not against the law.
Right.
No.
But the stench, if it's offending the neighbors, that is a nuisance, and police or Doug, whoever,
Yeah,
can
we can do
follow through with that.
now, as far as what you guys are talking about with, what psychological issues or whatever, may be wrong with him, I don't know, is it, maybe Russell Wood, maybe? Look into something like that?
We went through this entire process when he lived up
Yeah.
on Ninth Place,
Yeah.
and dead ends. We went to Russell Wood, we went to county public health nurse, I visited with her.
So he almost knows what he can do and what he can't do
Oh, yeah.
in a
As long as
weird
it's not
kind of a
affecting
way.
others, he's got, there's
Well-
just limits on what anybody else can do. But, like I said, the smell is one area we can do something.
Yeah, the smell, no,
And I'm not being a pervert if I take pictures.
No.
I mean, think about it, you hear all this stuff and then you want me to be on my deck and woo-hoo.
I would think what would be more helpful would be if you could catch him in the act of defecating on his front lawn or
He walks out his front and then goes around to the bushes, which are now longer and
Is it-
bushier.
is it still in public view? Or is
Not once he
somewhat-
goes into the bush up along the house, you can't actually see him squat like a Sasquatch, but he sure does smell like one.
But it won't be long and the leaves will be gone.
Oh,
Sure.
that's true.
Sure.
Ew, what a joke.
Bob, any other suggestions for these folks?
I just encourage him to call when he's out there. I mean, even if, and like we say, I mean, if they actually see his private parts, or they can see that he is urinating, written statement, according to Mike, is good enough. I did talk to Mike about the deal with the skivvies, and there isn't a whole lot. I mean, it's not proper, but
It's pretty touchy because,
He's
Right.
covered.
yeah,
he's covered.
yeah.
I mean, we've got people with their jeans hanging clear down their knees
Right.
with their boxer underwear showing
True.
and nothing could be done, so.
Right.
Have you've actually seen him completely naked outside the house?
Oh yeah, he'll come out.
So that's enough that they can actually make a report, correct?
Yes.
You may just go that route and then you may not even have to take a picture. And in the meantime,
Well, at home, Roger and I, and Crystal's my daughter, because she's, lives here, we've decided, do take a picture. Where's a line that you're crossing?
I guess I don't even know that you have to go that
think you're
far.
gonna cross.
I
If this is-
think if you, yeah, go ahead.
And if it's occurring on a regular enough basis, we can set up a camera
Oh, yeah.
Well,
in the window. I mean,
Yeah.
we can, a video camera to,
well,
You know, if he's coming out naked.
I would think too, what you're talking about with, if Mike okayed a statement, and he thinks that would be good enough, and then if you call the PD, each time you see it happen, let them track it, so they have documented instances. There's
Okay.
a third party, documenting, hey, the neighbor's called again, that he's out here again, and then maybe that, maybe they can track a time,
yes.
Well, we assume, and I hate to use the word assume, but we assume the reason why he comes out is because he can't, I haven't been in the house, but the kitchen's supposed to be back there, but I don't think he can get to it. So I think that's why he comes out, and then he goes around and does whatever, and then he comes back around, and like eating the leaves on that tree and the berries, and when I talk to other people prior to all of this stuff, everybody tells me he's from Romania, it's the way he lives, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but enough is enough when you gotta sit and
well,
watch
this
it.
isn't Romania.
Exactly, he's across the street.
Evelyn, how many times have you called the cops?
I don't, sorry.
I told her to.
Okay.
I love you. There's been issues and you call and nothing happens, so I just got to the point I don't call. But Bob says I have to call.
Well, in this specific instance, I think it would help your case, because it would help Bob track, and it would back up your case, if it does.
I just, home health or whatever, somebody needs to psychologically do whatever you do with them.
Yeah,
Why?
they just said that.
But this might get the ball rolling a little bit. I mean,
You
Where they can't-
have to get situations documented, and so it's hard to do that if you don't call and let those situations be documented. You know, you can write up a 2-page report, but if there's not a third party to verify it, then, you know, the judge may just say that's,
Okay, so just make sure somebody in your house is watching with you.
2529.
You got one question for Doug.
yeah, go ahead.
Doug, when he was living on 12th Avenue, and I understand.
We've had stuff
It
prior?
was an apartment on 12th Avenue.
Yep.
I understand exactly what you're talking about, his living conditions, because I've been personally and part of a group of people that have helped clear some of his belongings out. I know what the conditions are like. You're very accurate. Inside the house, it's a path, and it's not good, but it took them a long time to get him evicted from those apartments. What was the key factor to that?
I honestly don't know, Dick, other than recording behavior patterns, basically, I think is the biggie. To evict somebody, he was renting somebody else's problem. This is his property. He now owns this house.
Yeah,
So now it's owner occupied, to whereas that's a different scenario than if you're renting.
Yeah, the North Iowa Housing Authority was the one that got involved with him up there at the apartment. It came to a point where everybody was complaining of the smell that was emanating from the apartment. As I understand it, when you walk through the apartment, everything was armpit high. You walk like this to get through.
Oh, it was higher than that.
Was it?
Like there was a load.
Okay, so here's a
Also-
visual for you, since obviously you guys have a past with this guy. If that was an apartment, multiply that by 10 or 12, because it's a house now.
Yeah, but see, there's a difference. North Iowa Housing Authority has the has the ability to do those things in an eviction. We don't have that because the guy owns the house.
It's like we would be the landlord if Bobby would do that.
I think one of the key things, and I thought maybe you would be recalling this, was that he had things stacked against baseboard heating.
Oh, you can
It was
see.
a fire hazard, and I think that was the key thing that caused them to.
I don't think there's any heat in that house. That furnace hasn't worked for some years, and
Well, this is in the apartment building
Oh,
that he was
okay.
in, and
Yeah.
then from this previous setting. I guess I would encourage you, like Val has said, we gotta get the ball rolling, get some documentation so that he can get some help. And he's not unintelligent. He's
No.
an intelligent person.
yeah.
His living styles are different, but without some documentation, it would be very helpful for you to go ahead and call.
Okay.
But we know that nudity is not allowed. So if you can help document that, whether it's a picture or a phone call, that'd be a great help.
What about when he's collecting water when it rains and all his,
That's
just his
Nothing
lifestyle.
against
We do
that.
that too at the back of the garage. Okay.
Help us help you, I guess is what
I don't want help, I want him to get help.
well,
Yeah,
but documentation and that, I think that's the key.
okay, do something about the smell.
Yeah, Bob can get right on that, or Doug, or one of them can get right on that
Okay.
and get the ball rolling on
And if
that.
we see him in dumpsters, we'll call too, because that, I know when down the street.
Diana?
No, Charles and Miller. Where Noah lives now. Oh well. They moved out and they had mattress and stuff. And that was the one I called Bob on
He
because
brought
he
it.
brought it home and it was sick. He packed it on the back deck.
Okay.
Anything he sees, he will bring it home on his little bike.
So, all right, thanks.
Hang on, just call Bob.
Yeah, call.
So we're gonna call Bob. Anything else under public comment then? Okay, we'll move forward then. New business, we have consideration of approval of December 1st, 2013 Walmart health insurance policy renewal. Rob, did you want to go over that again, or?
Well, just briefly, we heard from Don Faber from from Three Rivers. The Wellmark proposal for a 17.16% increase for a December 1st renewal. We're recommending renewing for the December 1st renewal And then when we get the numbers, the new rate proposal from Wellmark for the January 1st renewal, which will have the Affordable Health Care Act plan in it. We'll see what that rate is, and if it's less than